Hi. I'm not sure what's going on. Hi, Kim.
Can you reconnect? Can you reconnect OYE, please?
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Open your eyes.
Hello, everyone. Sorry about that little glitch at the start of the show. We had some technical difficulties going on there. We're trying to work out on our Open Your Eye page. And welcome to Open Your Eye on today, Tuesday, Psychedelic Tuesdays, on January the 25th. 2022. And of course, I am joined by as always, by my joint host, the lovely Miss Cindy Howell. How's it going, Cindy?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm quite impressed when you got me to do that techie thing, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know how to do that, and I figured it out. So, like,
and you figured it out.
That's a good thing. So,
hey, we're
totally,
good. We're good.
Yeah, that worked. I'm impressed. Thank you so much for that chance.
I'm sorry to throw you in the deep end like that. It was just like, we're already live and it didn't connect to OYE. Cindy, go.
And here I was trying to figure it out.
Facebook is messing with me. Yeah, Facebook is messing with me again. So I got to get other people to try and clean that little bit of a mess up during my Facebook glitches at the moment. So Cindy Howell to the rescue, learning tech on the fly.
Yay. I did it. I came back. It connected, and I'm like, yeah. So
way to go, go me.
Oh, that was fun.
That's perfect. It's technical difficulty day, it seems. We had a quick change on our guest lineup for this week as well. We had originally scheduled Mr. Westy Wombat from Australia to join us tonight, but he's unable to join us tonight due to problems that are happening over in Australia way. So we had to do a quick switch and find a substitute guest. And we found somebody that we think is going to make a very interesting conversation tonight. Got a gentleman that is just beginning his psychedelic journey with psychedelic medicine. So we're going to speak tonight with Ron McNabb, a fellow joint host here at the network. Yeah, so it should be good.
Yeah,
it should be good. We're looking forward to bringing in Ron. But Westy, we're looking forward to hopefully reconnecting with you and rescheduling Westy Wombat back on at a future date to talk to us about his story and extensive journey with psychedelic medicine. But it's almost fitting to have somebody starting off the year at the beginning of their journey rather than at the end, right? So it's almost fitting.
I agree. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting to hear Ron's thoughts and his journey so far. And I agree with you 100%. Beginning of the year, brand new patient to the whole psychedelic realm, and we can follow Ron along as he takes his steps, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes shit just works out, right? Maybe this is one of those times that this is the way that this show was supposed to play out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, without much further ado, then Let's bring in Ron. I would like to introduce you to Ron McNabb, fellow joint host here
Hello.
at the network on the
Hi,
Reefer
everyone.
Reporters, as well as on IWK. It's great to have Ron in the house with us tonight. Welcome, Ron.
Thank you. And appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to the
Well,
show.
we appreciate you joining us, especially last
Definitely.
minute like this. I mean, we had planned on getting you on the show at a later date once your journey had begun. We had discussed it already, and you're an advocate for waiting, but now this opportunity popped up and kind of pushed everything forward, and you graciously agreed to join us tonight, which is
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank
Yeah,
you for that, Ron.
well, you're welcome, and thank you. It was actually kind of a little bit of a weird situation. When you messaged me, I was like, at first I was starting to type saying, I'm sorry, I can't do it tonight. I've got other stuff on the go. And then I'm thinking, wait a second. I'd be sitting watching a show anyway. So why not just be on the show? And this could be the moment, a moment that an opportunity that I don't necessarily want to miss. And so here I am.
Excellent.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And I'm so pleased that you joined us because a lot of people are in the same position as you, Ron, where they're not consumers of psychedelics, but they are looking at it now as utilizing it as a medicine. And people are more and more watching the show to find out the information behind all of that. So it's really cool that you're here to educate those consumers on the steps that you've taken so far for your journey and what's prompted you in this direction for the use of psychedelics as a medicine. So let's start off with that. Let's get a little bit of a background on you, Ron, and what's pushed you towards the decision of using psychedelics as a medicine. What drew you to this realm?
Well, it's not just psychedelics. It's natural plant-based medicine is where my focus is. I've started as a cannabis patient back in 2017. I shared my story on the Pace Radio show back in May as a guest with UNL. And so I'm not going to go into too much detail tonight about all that. Anyone who wants to hear more, they can go and listen to that broadcast. But basically, in 98, I fell off a roof at work and had a severe fall and broke my ankle, smashed my ankle, and continued to have back issues over the years to the point where I had to stop working. And I got on the pharma train, and I became the person that I said I didn't want to be, going to my doctor's office and begging for more pills. And got myself up to 23 pills a day. And my brain was completely messed up on that. Looking back now, I with a clear head, because I haven't been on any pharmaceuticals for about almost 2 years now, except for when I went in for surgery, for hernia surgery last December, a year ago this past December. And that was just for a short period of time, for the surgery, because I didn't have access to edibles and stuff. I only smoke cannabis right now, and I couldn't cough, so I had no choice but to take pills. But with the cannabis, I was able to get right back off the pills very soon. And I'm now gravitating into an interest in psychedelics. I've started briefly into microdosing with the help of Cindy here. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, and here we are. And really, microdosing is huge.
Yeah, you started in when you won that tea from Sita months back when she was on the 710 sesh with me. So that was quite a while ago. And of course, when Sita sent out those prizes, she sent out the instructions that you talked of about breaking it down into microdoses. So you microdosed with that way back when, less than a year ago.
Yeah.
So, and you told me in conversations afterwards, just out of my curiosity, I asked people, and you said that it made a difference.
Oh, definitely. I'm actually drinking some right now. It's really delicious. I'm not sure if what it is that the taste that I'm enjoying, so whether it's the hibiscus lemon peel or the orange peel or everything as a blend together. But I kind of just felt like with a little bit of an extra oomph in my step. That I kind of just was feeling a little bit lighter after having it. Same thing with microdosing with some of the capsules, like the that
Yeah.
that are from there as well, from Sita.
Nice.
Yeah, she makes some great products.
Sure
Apparently,
does, yeah.
Kelly Renee is Reverend Kelly is a big fan as well of her
Yeah.
products.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've listened to Sita, and she seems like someone who's there for an interest for the patients, and not just all about the money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what's nice.
And
That's
that
what's
makes
nice
all
to
the
see.
difference in the world. You
It
know,
makes a huge difference.
I don't know about anybody else, but plant medicine, as people that have been in this realm for a while, both Cindy and I feel the same way on this. I think, whether it's a microdose or a macrodose, it doesn't matter. When you're dealing with plant medicines, especially in the fungi realms, in my opinion, your intentions with that seem to encode itself on the medicine. So if you have good intentions, that gets encoded on that medicine, and when you consume it, you can feel that intention. If your supply is coming from someone that has maybe not ill intentions, but not medicinal intentions or holistic intentions, if they're in it for the money, if they're in it for the wrong reasons, if they've got not a great aura about them, and then they present you with that medicine, that intention can be imprinted on that medicine.
Oh,
And
definitely.
you can wind up with a very different feel from that medicine.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to somebody pure of heart, when it comes from that person, that is also imprinted, and you feel the difference.
Mm-hmm. Now, I just want to show my bong mat, and this means a lot to me. And this is not just cannabis. This is any plant, because I'm a gardener as well. And in the ad post, you saw you had put a picture of me, and you can see my gardens in behind. So, what I can grow and consume myself, that's nice. But respect the plant.
Respect the plant.
And I definitely do. I definitely do.
Yeah.
And it's not just cannabis. It's any of the plants that they're natural living beings on this earth, just the same as I, and they're here for us.
Nice.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's an amazing thing to see somebody embarking on this journey. You can watch the changes take place. You watch them very, very slowly. The changes take place throughout the time that they're going along. Oh, we missed 7:10. Happy 7:10, everybody. Sorry, we're late. But you can watch the changes take place, and they can be quite profound for somebody on the outside looking in, watching that happen. With you, I have expectations because I know what this is going to do for you. So I'm almost like a little kid in a candy store sitting here going, oh, he's going to do it. Yes. And waiting, for the enlightenment and the calmness to come. We're very excited for you, for sure. So you've chosen microdosing so far. I guess you're doing research, are you?
Still doing research. I do have an interest in doing macrodose, but again, I know setting and intentions for that is even more important than than for microdosing, and just where I'm at with things right now going on in my life. Now I know it's kind of a little bit it could be counter, whatever, opposite of what I'm trying to say, because sometimes a case like that, as Cindy was saying to me the other day, sometimes that's when you need this medicine the most. But at the same time, I want to be careful. And I'm not just don't want to just rush into things. So that's why I'm starting on the microdosing, and just take it one step at a time.
Absolutely.
One step at a time.
And so far right now, just like I know this, like with cannabis, with what it's done for me, just in the past few years, I can only imagine what psychedelics is going to do.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest moments in my life during my healing process is when you realize that you're helping someone else through their struggles, and you can look back and it's like, wow, it's not a feeling that you're better than them or anything like that. It's just a feeling. It's a feeling of compassion, a feeling of empathy. I don't necessarily have to know exactly what someone's situation is like. I just have to know that, you know what, whatever they're going through, it's crappy. And you know what, whatever I can do to support them and help them, without it affecting me in a negative way, then hey, I'll do it.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Very
You know,
profound.
and that's so important is without it affecting me in a negative way. People need
My
to
wife
hold
and
on to that because sometimes we lose sight of that part.
Yeah, my wife and I were just talking about the other day, and I mentioned to her. I said we're taught that we need to take time for self-care, but the moment that we do that, we're told that we're being selfish.
Yeah.
Because you're taking care of yourself instead of someone else's needs.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
And that's a backwards way of thinking.
Yep.
In my
Absolutely.
opinion.
It truly is.
And
yeah,
I don't know why that. I don't know what the reasoning behind that, of how that has come to be, but part of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now is just to get the word out there. Is, you know what, everybody's struggling with something, and you know what, no one's struggles are worse or better than another person. We're just all here trying to survive our time on this planet, and if I can do it in a more better way for myself using natural plant medicines, then that's
so your natural plant medicine isn't just cannabis, and now you're trying a little bit of psilocybin, and there's a few other things in some of those meds that I sent you. But you also your medicine is also your healthy living. The fact that, I mean, you and your wife grow a lot of your own food.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We're actually just talking about today about thinking about getting a pressure canner so we can put up even more food to get away from having to spend so much time putting it in the freezer and stuff. Because also we live in Northern Ontario. Hydro goes out quite often, as Kim can attest. Even though you're off grid, weather affects. No matter what source of power you got, weather can affect it. And
that's right.
So if I can have stuff sitting on a shelf, why not? So my food that I grow out in my garden is also my medicine.
Yep, absolutely.
We grow as organic as we can. I can't always guarantee, like if we're getting manure from a local farmer, I can't guarantee what's in there. I can only do what I can do.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's limits to all of that. We're self-sustaining, organic, as much as is humanly possible in today's world. But you can't guarantee where everything that you get comes from. That's That's for sure. I use local
Yeah.
the same as you, Ron, as
Yeah.
much as possible. I get my cow manure from the guy up the road. I know he doesn't spray his stuff, but that's about as good as it's going to get, right?
Yeah.
So,
You do
yeah,
do
I
it.
mean, we
Do
do
what
what we
you can
can.
with what you have. Do it what you
That's
can
it.
with what you have. Definitely. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
even when I do. I'm doing the Monday night 7:10 daily sesh, and that's kind of my underlying theme point. There is just doing what you can with what you have, and
yeah.
things don't have to be perfect. Um,
Nope.
Sometimes we get caught up watching YouTube videos and seeing everything all perfect and stuff, and we kind of measure ourselves against that, and forgetting the fact that what little I am able to do is better than nothing.
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's right. Every small step forward is a step in the right direction.
yep, yep,
I mean, and we've just got to keep taking those baby steps forward. Eventually, you get there, and that is so important. So in your research that you've done so far, you've chosen uh, to stick with the microdosing right now.
hmm
So just for people that are out there, you're using Cetus tea. Let's talk milligrams. You're a novice, so you're not somebody that used psychedelics recreationally in the past on a regular basis. So you have like basically zero tolerance. So you could speak to this as a newbie walking in, somebody that's never experienced this kind of thing before or hasn't for many decades since they were young, and that kind of thing. So, what kind of milligrams for
uh,
psilocybin are we talking about for a microdose for you,
uh,
and
okay.
how
So
often?
so the tea that's here. It's 1,000 milligrams. And it has recreational dosing and microdosing. For the microdose, you just mix it, you brew it in a 1 liter of water, so 1,000 milliliters. So for every 100 milliliters, that'd be your point one. Um, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, your point one. So I usually will have like about 200 to 300 milligrams of tea. This year was about 250, and this is the second one I've had. The first one Cindy mentioned I had, it was a few months back. I can't remember. It was maybe a year ago. I don't know.
It was a
Um,
while back. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I can't remember it specifically. It doesn't matter. Um, but I had done just like a 100 milligram to start with, just to see, because it was something I've never had before, and just wanted to
Yeah,
make sure that I didn't react to it um, in a negative way or anything. Not that it's bad, but it's just something else I'm consuming. Just same thing as if I go to Taco Bell and have a couple of tacos, that you're not going to be feeling very well later on with it. So just the same
yeah,
thing. I just wanted to have a little bit to see, and then just work my way up a bit. So I find that the 200 to 300 milligram cup of tea is pretty decent. I'm just looking at I had done a log over here for the capsules. There was capsules I was taking. There was ones for uh, like daytime, so for have focus and alertness, and then there's ones for at night. Uh, I had basically, it was mm, probably every 3 to 5 days. I would have a capsule, and just to see, I logged it down at the same time, like the time that I took it and all that, just in case if there was any adverse reactions or whatever, I had something to go back to. Not that I was expecting any adverse reactions, but I just kind of like having everything documented there. That way, if I get asked questions, I can go back and refer to it, just like I am
Right
today.
now.
yeah,
Yeah. And I find it hard to write things down. I use my phone for a lot of stuff. I just take pictures and stuff most of the time rather than spending time writing. The internet's kind of done that for me. I've lost the art of writing stuff out, but I'm trying to get back into it. But yeah, every 3 to 5
that's
days,
that's that's true for a lot of us.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, every 3 to 5 days, I would have. So I did a focus and alert pill or pill capsule the one time, and then a few days later I did another one, and then I had one of the red ones for at night, and I was able to sleep all night.
Nice.
I woke up at like 7 o'clock in the morning without an alarm as usual, but I felt well rested.
Nice.
Definitely, and I started feeling a heaviness come over me a little bit after I took it, so I knew it was working. Definitely, just basically just having a hard time trying to keep my eyes open, and that's what you want, and
that's what you want.
That's what you want, and a lot of healing, both mentally and physically, takes place when we get a good night's sleep too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. We were just having a conversation about this a couple of days ago on another show about something totally different, but sleep deprivation was part of that conversation. And man, when you don't sleep right, that messes with everything.
Yep. 100%.
Sure does. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I'm really happy to hear that that Ceda's products, because the tea and the focus and alert and the sleep products are all things that Ceda has made. So they have worked for you so far. They've been helping.
Yeah. And what I like about it too is it's a familiar, trusted source.
Yeah.
And so I what not right away, but when I am ready to start making some purchases, I will definitely reach out to her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very cool. You found a medicine that seems to be working for you, that has opened some doors to opening your eye. And that's always beneficial for sure. The community is pretty tight knit. We've all got, connections here and there with different people, and there's many that are trustworthy and long-standing individuals that have been in the cannabis space that we've known for a very long time, that are also in the psychedelic space. So it's great to be able to have those avenues to reach out to get a trusted product. And that is absolutely the utmost, is having the trusted product. I can see we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to take a few moments to do a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and continue our conversation with Ron McNabb, who is just starting out his journey into psychedelic therapy and psychedelic medicines. You're watching Open Your Eye here on the Pace Radio Network, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Next week on Psychedelic Tuesdays here on Pace Radio. Tune in at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the Psychedelic Reporters. Bufo Alvarius is scouring the newswires for stories being reported in mainstream media on the psychedelic front, and passing them on to joint host Cindy Howell and me, Kim Cooper, so we can bring them to you, our listeners, in this 60-minute video news podcast. Join us on Psychedelic Tuesdays each week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for all your news and information from the world of psychedelic medicine.
Hey man, Psychedelic Tuesdays at 7 p.m. here on paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video, and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network, found at paceradio.net, provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done through our 5 weekly live video and audio broadcasts that cover cannabis and psychedelic news, plus those we interview. We get started Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Reefer Reporters. Then at 9 p.m. we're live with Canada Quebec. Tuesday brings you Open Your Eye or the Psychedelic Reporters at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 8, we are live with the Pace Radio Show. But we're not done yet, because on Thursday, the Reefer Reporters return with another Reefer Report. Meanwhile, once a month, Thursdays bring you the Grassroots Advocate, the Pace Radio Network's audio magazine. All these shows, plus more, are found right here on paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network? It's a network of people advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at Bma Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888. The only way to go.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
And we're back from our medication session. And I might have pushed that last dab.
It happens. I got smoke up my nose, which didn't help my wanting to sneeze, right? So I'm sitting here, oh, golly gosh. Again, medicating is great.
Medicating during the breaks. Play this little game, during the commercial break. How many dabs can you do in 4 minutes and 20 seconds?
Usually quite a few if you really try.
Yeah. Some nights it's quite a few. The last one was pushing it towards the end of the last commercial there a little bit. Got a bit of a cough going on. Let's bring our tonight's guest back in. Mr. Ron McNabb is in the house. The newbie on the psychedelic front that we're having a conversation with. I think it's fantastic that you're embracing all of this the way you have, Ron. You grabbed hold really sort of, with both hands sort of thing after your ordeal on the pharmaceutical train, and you've just going full steam ahead with the natural therapy. And I couldn't be happier. This smile is just stretched, and I'm just thrilled when I see somebody embark on this journey. I think back to, the beginning days of my own journey and waking up on that pharmaceutical train and what that feeling was like, that emotional roller coaster that you're
Mm-hmm.
on at the time. And while you're on the pharmaceuticals, you're on this roller coaster ride where you've got all these highs and then you've got all these horrible, horrible lows, and you're up and you're down and you're
Yep.
pulling your hair out. You're not who you want to be. You're not who you are at your core. They're making you say, do, and act in ways that you never would in any other time. And then you wake up from that and you realize what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
and the light bulb goes on.
Yep.
And I mean, my heart aches for it, but at the same time, it bursts with joy when I see somebody like you that woke up the way I did.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Like I said,
family.
I became the person who I always swore I never would become. The one going
Yeah,
to their doctor's office, literally
yeah,
crying in pain,
yeah,
saying, "Give me something."
yeah,
And to be honest,
yeah,
had it not been the support of my family and everything else around me, um, the next step for me would have been seeking drugs out on the street.
yeah,
So when I thought of that, that was my wake up moment right there. It's like,
yeah,
holy shit, what am I doing? What am I
yeah,
doing to myself? And realizing that all along the opiates weren't taking the pain away. In
no,
fact, looking back at it now, they were actually exacerbating the pain. And as you said, fucking up with your brain too.
Yep.
I was on 1,000 milligrams of gabapentin a day.
that one, that
Yeah,
one is
that's a bad
horrible
drug.
too. That one
And
is horrible too. Oh
I
God, and it messes with your head.
yep.
Oh,
And the thing is, I knew about. I read up on it. I knew that it could mess up with your head. But you know what? You don't realize it's happening.
no. When you're in it, you don't
While
see it.
no, no. And meanwhile, my life was crashing down all around me. My health was getting worse. I ballooned up to 230 pounds.
Yep.
Um, I was immobile most of the time. I spent most of my day in a lazy boy recliner. When I did have to get around, I used a cane or a mobility scooter. Um, I don't have any of that now. And that was all because of getting off the pills and using cannabis. So I'm now excited to be on this next part of my journey in using psychedelics to further enhance the healing process.
And you know, it can happen so easy, right? I mean, people seem to think that we have this idea in our heads, in society, that people that succumb to this kind of a thing, where you become addicted to a drug, even if it's like pharmaceuticals, doctor prescribed addiction is a larger addiction, or as large of an addiction as the drug addicts using street drugs on the streets. Many
And
of
I
them got
was,
there because of the pharmaceutical train.
yep,
I mean,
yep,
and people have this idea in their minds that you must have a weak internal makeup, or you're not a very strong person, or you're not intelligent, or how could you not know better, and this kind of thing. And man, that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, I
mhm,
was a cannabis activist for 30 years, using cannabis as medicine, and I got thrown onto that pharmaceutical train and got addicted to fentanyl. If it can
yep,
happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
yep. And here's what my key was: I didn't have access to high dose edibles or anything like that. I went off my pills. Well, initially cold turkey, that didn't work out well.
No.
Um, that just sent me in a further spiral, to where it almost ended my, at that time, 25-year marriage. Thankfully, we're still together and we're stronger than ever, and
Yeah.
and that. So, sorry, I just lost my train of thought there a little bit. Um, Sorry, I can't remember where I was
But
going with that.
you've had a support system, and you've come out the other side of that, and thank God your wife did stand by you. She knew what was underneath that layer that was covering you. It's like a film that comes over top of you, and it takes over your life a little bit. And it's like, I hear you. My husband the same. I don't know how he stuck around, but thank God he did, right? But thank God for these people that could see through the haze and support us until we came out the other side.
And the thing that really is important. And that's one thing that's not talked about enough is the effects that all of this has on the family and others that are close by. They're just as much, or even more. I shouldn't say even more, but they're just as much affected by it all. And then it affects. It can affect the way that they live their own lives.
Yep.
And create issues there. So it just kind of is like a snowball effect, and you don't necessarily see that happening with the natural plant medicine. And I'm not totally anti-pharma, by the way. I'm for it when it's necessary.
Right.
I'm a huge proponent where plant therapy should be offered first.
Absolutely.
Like I had my accident in 1998. Cannabis was not legal medically at that time. I didn't even really know much about, I never even consumed cannabis at all until I became a patient in 2017.
Wow.
So I went through years of being in an excruciating pain all the time. And it was never given to me as an option, even when it became legal. I even had my father-in-law had a friend of his who was a medical cannabis patient, one of the first ones. And I didn't even inquire about it then because I wasn't awake to it and no one was talking about it.
Yep.
So I go to my doctor saying, hey, I need something for this pain. Oh, here's a pill. Well, here's another pill. Here's this. I got to the point, like I said, I was on 23 pills a day. I was on hydromorph. I was having two of the most severe side effects. One was whole body tremors. So it looked like I had Parkinson's. Like I couldn't even carry a cup of coffee or anything with me. Couldn't even type on my phone. And then the other one was psychotic breaks.
Oh gosh,
that was the worst. I've gone from
flip out.
I
had flip out. They're horrible.
Yeah, I've gone from like daily suicidal thoughts and ideations to not having them at all.
That's fantastic to hear.
And I know for a fact that most of the pills that I was on, most likely the cause of that side of wanting to have of having these suicidal thoughts is a side effect of those pills.
Yep.
That's right. And here's a pill they're giving you because you're depressed and we're worried you're going to get suicidal because you're depressed. So we're going to give you one of this pill. And by the way, the side effect is suicidal ideations.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm depressed and you're scared I might get suicidal. So you're going to give me a pill that's going to make me suicidal.
And the thing is, I was already feeling suicidal at that point.
So let's give you something that's going to exasperate that.
And there was other options there. Number one, cannabis, because it's been legal for more than 2 decades now, and we've got with the latest push with the psychedelics with Health Canada.
Yes.
Even then, it's still too restrictive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's going to take a while to loosen.
Yeah.
like from what I understand, they've moved it over to it's like the Section 8 or the Special Access Program or something like that, for psychedelics with prescribing. I don't know all the details, but that was just something that was recently new, I believe.
Yeah.
I know from my own experience with being on disability, trying to get prescriptions covered under the Special Access Program, you have to try everything that's out
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's wrong.
You've got to run the gambit first.
What?
Yeah, you've got to run the gambit first, and you have to go after disappointment after disappointment, shortcoming after shortcoming, deal with all the side effects and all the horrors that go through that. I mean, when you're on the edge already, you're telling me to go after things that are going to force me to experience defeat over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just reading some of the
How
comments.
does this make any sense?
I know. I'm reading some of the comments here, and you know what? We've all got the same story.
Yeah. A lot of similar stories out there.
And
you know, how does that make any sense when you're in the fragile position,
Yep.
when you're already on the edge? You're forcing people into a repetition of defeat.
Yep.
It's astonishing.
Yeah.
Yep. The pharmaceutical
You
does
know?
not. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't create cures; they create customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They used to make thousands of dollars a month off me.
My prescriptions, my disability used to pay $50,000 a year for my prescriptions, and yet for natural plant therapy, they won't cover anything.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, then that was one of my other reasonings for wanting to get involved look into the psychedelics, is the cost.
Yeah.
With cannabis, I want to be able to kind of have a mix and substitute. I don't want to just be consuming cannabis all the time. I want to, like, if I can reduce a little bit of my consumption of cannabis, so it's costing me less there, then I can spend a little bit over on the psychedelics and have a better outcome.
Yeah, and I've done the same. I mean, I'm in the same position. I'm on CPP disability. I took my full pension disability early because I'm unable to work due to my motor vehicle accident and the subsequent PTSD that I suffer. You know, so money's tight, of course. Money's an issue. And when nothing is covered, I mean, they'll write you a bucket full of prescription medicine that you can get covered by your disability pension program will supply you with those pharmaceuticals. No problem. 20, 25 pills a day. We got you. No problem. Oh, what? You want to use psilocybin and cannabinoid therapy? Oh, no, we can't help you with that. Because that's all you're going to use, and you're going to be okay with that. Well, no, we can't help you with that. 1/10 the price of what the pharmaceuticals would have cost out of pocket. 1/10 or less of the price, and that can't be covered. I mean, for me, I handle it with grow your own. I mean, it still costs money to grow your own. You have everything that is required to grow your own. If you're indoor, you got to get a room. You got to get lights. You got to get soil. You got to get pots. You got to get tents. You got to get nutrients. You got to get all kinds of test kits and exhaust fans and dehumidifiers and humidifiers. And I mean, the list is endless for indoor. It's insane. And if you're outdoor and you live in Canada, anywhere outside of BC, well, you've got a pretty short growing season. So you better be growing a lot to last you through
Well,
through the year, right? So I mean, growing your own does have its costs and it does have its challenges nonetheless, but far, far more economical than regular purchases.
yeah, I'm just reading comments. Anyways,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. Sorry, I went right off into outer space there.
That's all good. It's all good. But yeah,
Okay.
you can grow your own
Oh,
cost effectively, far cheaper, and allow yourself some leeway to look into other avenues. I mean, I've even begun exploring for the last little while, few years, growing my own fungi.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
wanting to get into that as well. We actually have neighbors down the road. They have a little homestead, and they're just grew some lion's mane, I think, and a
Yeah,
couple of others.
Fantastic.
So,
Yeah.
and they were just kits from Home Depot that they picked up.
nice.
Nice.
So
Nice. I mean,
Nice.
it's and I mean the lion's mane, even stuff like shiitake mushrooms,
mhm,
the
yeah,
nutrients, the
Benefits. Yep.
medicinal
yep,
values that are in those mushrooms and all fungi are
Yes.
amazing to
and
add into your everyday diet. It will also help you heal.
yep, and that's why my push is to like I wish I could be more of an activist or whatever. I guess I'm an advocate. I don't have the ability to get out there and be feet to the ground type of thing. My heart's there to do that, but the thing is the regulations surrounding plant medicine. Like, it's ridiculous. They're plants.
Plants.
It's the exact same medicinal benefits we have in the rest of the plants I grow in my garden, the echinacea, the burdock, the plantain, the all kinds of other herbs in that. Even your carrots, like they've all got your terpenes and other good stuff in there, nutrients and that, just the exact same way as cannabis and psychedelic mushrooms or any of the
Absolutely.
mushrooms.
Any of the mushrooms. Yeah.
So why is there all that regulation? Because it should be treated the exact same way as any vegetable I have out in my garden. I don't need a license or whatever to grow 200 tomato plants in my yard.
I have to address this comment. Apparently, this is a story that you must tell.
I've got no idea what this is.
You have no idea?
Nope.
All right. Okay.
I think
Somebody be tripping.
Yeah,
Somebody's tripping.
I think so.
Okay. Just wanted to address that.
Okay.
That's the comment I was chuckling at earlier.
They're doing their own meds right now, and they're on a macro dose. I do believe.
I
could
think
be
so.
The case.
I think so.
Uh,
They're doing a reset as we speak.
That's a reset. Reset.
oh, that's
Reset.
funny.
Uh,
That is funny.
just had to make sure it wasn't. Is this for real or what?
Nope.
No, it's
Nope.
not. Okay. I'm wondering. I'm thinking that's not the Ron I know. I got to hear more about this.
Nope. At least not yet. I haven't taken a trip out to outer space yet like that. So
Yeah.
I might have a story like that in the near future. You never know.
Well, our audience
after all-
members are getting a good kick out of it too, so that's good.
After all, one of my favorite radio shows was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I like that. I like that abstract out there thinking. So.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we touched on it a little bit. About people Don't think it's the week or or something wrong with you if you get caught up on that pharmaceutical train, because I mean I'm seeing a lot of the comments from the members of our audience this evening, and a lot of people have a very same story.
Yeah.
And I know from personal experience, guilt goes along with that as well. Once you do wake up, dealing with the guilt, looking back and remembering stuff. Stuff starts popping into your head, moments of when you're manic and stuff like that, and you're remembering what you did, how you acted, how you felt.
Yep.
It can destroy you from within in your own brain. You
Absolutely.
start feeling very guilty about some of the things that you portrayed to people, and you have to
100%.
reconcile that. And you have to know this wasn't on you, man. As I said, for me, 30 years in cannabis activism, 30 years using plant therapy as my medicine and rejecting pharma for the condition that I was treating at the time, which was epilepsy, for my seizure disorder. And 30 years of that. And they got me on 150 milligrams of fentanyl, gabapentin, Percocets, morphine, you name it. I was popping them. I was on, 18 pills a bloody day plus patches, and at the doctor, like you say, begging for more. It's not enough. It's not working. I need more. And they can have a way of convincing you, along with the dosing of the medication that is altering your thoughts to start with. And you are effectively, you are being conditioned.
Mhm.
And this isn't on you because it happened to you. This is on the people that did it to you.
Yeah.
So don't you feel guilt?
Yeah, I don't anymore. You mentioned, you touched on that, and that is a huge thing, especially for anyone who deals with PTSD, because that is one of the root issues with PTSD, is where you get caught up in that endless loop
Yeah.
of negative thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
you're just
It's a horrible place to be.
continuously blaming yourself, wondering if you could have done something different.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, no, you couldn't have done anything different,
No.
because you did the best that you knew at that time. And
That's right.
as much as we want to try to get ourselves back into to think how we were actually thinking at that time, you can't, because we already know that it's happened. So you just, you know what I mean? You get stuck in that, and then once you learn how to like break out of that endless cycle, it's like empowering.
It is. It
It
is.
is.
I have lots of friends, of course, many of us suffering from PTSD and many other conditions that came hand in hand from being on these heavy pharmaceuticals. We all feel the same way. We all feel the same torment and the same drama and the same trauma that's going on in our heads from going through these ordeals, and everybody seems to deal with it a little bit differently. Many people fall apart. The self-loathing, the self-pity, the self-everything, but it's always self. It always starts with self, whatever, right? Self-hatred, whatever. It's always self. It's always directed within, within ourselves, And for me, I spent years dealing with that, and I've now turned it to anger.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't get upset anymore. Now I get mad. And I get mad at them, not at me. Not anymore. I'll have my moments where I start going, oh God, fuck, so a thought will come into my head, something random that I did so long ago while I was in the middle of that. And it just, poof, there it is in your head.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. And I'm just, you kind of sit back and you floor yourself a little bit. It's like, I fucking did that, didn't I? And, for a moment, you want to crawl inside yourself and die.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
Once you become
it's
aware.
horrible.
Yeah. Yep. Once you
It's
become
horrible. And
aware
now
of
I don't
what's
do that no
happening.
more. Now I get mad. Fuck them.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
did this to me.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
know, I that's how I deal with it now. I turn it and I put it in anger and I put it on them
Mhm.
because they're the ones that did it.
Yep.
That wasn't me.
Yep. You just did what you knew best at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
And
the
like
drugs that alter your brain perceptions at that time.
100%. Yep. And
Yeah.
even looking back now, like with my driving, I was a horrible driver when I was on the pills. And I remember I'd be going through red lights. I'd blow through stop signs. I would
Nobody's
turn
going
and
to take your license though,
there's
right?
someone
Not
there.
for a
I almost hit.
car.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I know.
and remembering looking now that I've got a clear head because I've been off the pills for so long, and looking back, my judgment was totally clouded during those times too. Like I thought I was fine, but looking back now, you can see where like, I could see that I was just in such a brain fog
Yeah.
through it all.
Yeah.
And now I can, like, I've got a pretty high tolerance. Yeah, I can stop at the side of the road and smoke a joint and hop right back in the vehicle, and I'm not impaired. I'm impaired if I'm not medicated.
Yeah. Same.
So it's and I'm not sure about, like, obviously with the psychedelics, I wouldn't do a macrodose and then go out and driving.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Even with the microdosing, even though there's probably very little harm, I wouldn't.
I don't
do it.
either. My microdose day, I stay home.
Yeah. So again, setting.
Yeah.
Set
setting, so important.
It is
so
it is.
important.
Setting, intentions, and that's basically like my intentions. You were talking about that earlier. My main intention through all of this is I wanted to get better. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you're waking up every morning and you're spending countless hours throughout the day just wanting everything to be over, what kind of life is that?
It isn't.
It isn't.
No, not at all.
And I'm proud to say now I'm living my life.
That's fantastic.
And what's great is I get to share it with others in hopes that it can help them. I have the opportunity to be working with Cindy here on Reefer Reporters, and also obviously with Kim being a part of the network. And I've been enjoying my time with that, and it's life's good. And
fantastic.
that's where I'm. It's kind of
You're
just
starting your journey.
It's been a kind of a natural path that's led me to where I am now with the microdosing, and I'm trying not to limit myself too much, because if I've done that for too long, kind of just limit myself, and I miss out on opportunities. And that was, I guess, what I was trying to get to about earlier when I mentioned about that I was going to say, no, I'm not going to, I can't do the show tonight. I got a lot going on. And I'm thinking, wait a second. Am I going to miss an opportunity here that I need to be taking? This isn't necessarily, well, it is about me. Number one, it's helping me in my own journey, because number one, it reinforces what I've already been learning, what I'm doing. But not only that, it gets to help other people.
Yeah.
And
you saw all the connections that you made on the comments, right?
Yeah.
People resonated with your story.
Each and every one of them with what they've written. I don't know their I can never understand their specific circumstances and specific feelings, but I understand. And that's the other thing. Research your mental illnesses, research PTSD. I think honestly PTSD is way underdiagnosed. I would have to say most people who have anxiety and depression, those are side effects of the PTSD.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And a lot of those people are on pharmaceuticals that are exacerbating that fact as well.
Exactly.
And that's a big problem in today's world. I want to make sure we're getting towards the end of the show, but I want to make sure I circle back to something that you did mention earlier that I am in full agreement on as well. There is a place for pharmaceuticals. I am not anti-pharma. Don't start sending me messages accusing me of being anti-pharma. There is absolutely a place for pharmaceutical medications in our lives. They were created for a reason. They were created to control huge amounts of pain, like after surgery, when the doctor has used a scalpel to cut you open, and now you're healing. Well, yeah, you're probably going to need something to get you through that, if you have a chronic condition and the medicine is developed to help your body regulate itself to control that condition, there is a place for that.
Definitely.
My problem with pharmaceutical medications is over prescribing. We are prescribing stuff like Percodon for a toothache in today's world, and we're keeping people on it for 6 months for that toothache. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, that causes addiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're absolutely right on that.
There's
and antibiotics can go into that whole thing too. I mean, we get an infection and need something, big pharma, has made the antibiotic much more.
Cindy's frozen.
Cindy
Must
froze.
be cold out. Oh, you froze.
She's back.
Yes, antibiotics. That's where I was going, and sorry.
Yeah.
Life in the tech world, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like just quickly, like for example, I've herniated discs. If they get to the point, like if I have a big huge flare up, and what I have with my cannabis isn't cutting it, I know what I have to do. I have to get myself down to the ER and have a Toradol injection right in the spine, and well, not in the spine, but in that area, and that will work. But that's a single shot, and that just kind of reduces everything to get me. But I haven't had a flare up in actually I think over 2 years now that I say it.
Cannabinoid therapy is, feeding your endocannabinoid system. Your body is creating homeostasis, and look at that, it's repairing itself. Amazing, isn't it?
And unless you've experienced it, it's a very hard thing for someone to understand. I literally can feel the plant medicines working in my body.
Yep. They allow you to heal yourself from within.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that there's been like a switch flipped.
Yeah.
And
for me, psychedelic therapy. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it doesn't mean that I don't have any issues. I still do.
That's for sure. We all do. Yeah.
And that's the other point I wanted to bring up is I've learned to just be. That those bad days are a part of the process, and
100%.
Those days like that, and I see, Cindy, a lot of times you do that too. You say, you know what, it's microdose day, because you know what, I can feel it. You deal with it, and then boom,
time.
You're back after that, and
that's right.
There should be no shame in that.
No,
That's
absolutely not.
It's not selfish.
No,
You're taking something to make you feel better. You're supposed to
Yep.
do that. If you don't take care
Yep.
of you, how are you going to take care of anybody else?
Yep. Exactly.
Right?
So
Yeah.
I do have a few other products that I haven't tried yet. So that's what's on the menu
On the menu for coming up.
going forward.
I'm excited for you.
Well, Ron,
Yeah.
I'm excited for your journey too, as well. Me too, Cindy. Absolutely. I'm excited for your journey as well. It's been great chatting with you tonight at the onset of this journey. I mean, here we are in January 2022, and you're on your fresh, brand new journey on a fresh, brand new year. And you're our first guest on to discuss their journey in this brand new year. So I think it all kind of came together and was fitting that you fell into this space with us tonight. And I look forward to having you back, 6 months, maybe 8 months from now.
Definitely.
And let's see where you're at then.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
So.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Cannabinoid therapy has been a wonderful tool of mine in my tool belt for many, many decades, and has come to my rescue many times. Now having psychedelic therapy added as a tool into that tool belt, my journey has progressed immensely as well, and I'm excited to see you embark on yours.
Yeah, and I appreciate the Open Your Eye show and all of the other platforms or whatever that's around. That's all helped me to be able to gain the interest, the knowledge, have a place where I can ask questions, and get informative, real information.
Absolutely.
Because that's how I had to do it with myself with cannabis, because the help wasn't out there easily accessible to me out in the healthcare field. So it was other patients helping patients.
Helping patients. Yeah,
absolutely.
And to quote Andrew Pallister, each one teach one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each one teach one. Gary's a great guy, isn't he?
Fantastic.
He's got a lot of little sayings going on out there that have caught on like wildfire. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Opportunity for shout outs time, folks. Sorry, Ron, did you have something else that you wanted to add?
No, I'm just sitting here listening, waiting for my turn.
Go ahead. Floor is yours.
No, I didn't have anything else to say. I was just waiting for what you had to say.
Well, we're gonna get to shout out time. I think that's where we're gonna go from here. We're gonna definitely have Ron back on in 6 months or so, and let's see where his journey is at then, using psychedelic medicine added into his cannabinoid therapy tool belt that he's had going on to change his life for the better. We're excited for Ron's continued journey into plant medicine and a plant-based lifestyle and a natural lifestyle, and all the changes that's brought forward for him. So Ron, shout outs. Who'd you like to give a shout out to tonight?
First of all, might seem kind of cheesy and cliche. Shout out to yourself and the network here, and Cindy and everyone for allowing me to be on the show tonight. And for having the Open Your Eyes show for as a learning tool for people, as a vehicle for to get the information out there. And shout out to Sita with Canamed. She's doing a lot of good work there, and I definitely will be in touch with her in the near future. And I guess that's kind of it.
Nice.
So
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. Cindy, got a shout out tonight?
Oh,
Oh,
I think she's
Cindy's
frozen.
frozen again. Cindy's frozen. Yep, Cindy's gone. Cindy's frozen. I'll give Cindy a few minutes to try and come back and say goodbye and do our closing off. We would like to thank Ron McNabb for joining us tonight. Many thanks to, of course, my joint host. It's missing in action in cyberspace right now, floating around trying to find her way back. Erin, I hear a dink. I hear a little bink, bink, bink going on. Perhaps Cindy, Reverend Cindy is back maybe to say her shout out and her good nights. Let me get her in. There she is. Oh, she got her in, and I got her in, and we all got her in.
Oh, my internet's driving me nuts. So, thanks for coming on, Ron. I really, really appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure to follow your story, and I very much look forward to having you back.
Oh, thank you, and I also just want to thank the viewers too.
Absolutely.
Yep. We had quite a bit of interaction tonight on tonight's show on various platforms as well, coming in from all over the place on the streams. Thanks very much to our listeners for that. And of course, in closing, I'd like to say thank you to my joint host that popped back in from cyberspace. Lovely Miss Cindy Howell for joining us here on Open Your Eye each and every week with our wonderful guests that we have coming on the show. I believe our next Open Your Eye broadcast will be 2 weeks from tonight, and I'm not positive, but I'm thinking we've got Jamaica in the house.
I think that's what the plan was. Yes, and that'll be exciting.
I think Jamaica might be in the house next show, and of course next week here on Psychedelic Tuesdays we'll be hosting the Psychedelic Reporters, bringing you some mainstream media news on the psychedelic front with the one and only Bufo Alvaria. So we look forward to that here on the Pace Radio Network at paceradio.net. Thank you for joining us on Open Your Eye here on Pace Radio for Psychedelic Tuesdays. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody, and thank you, Ron. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.
Peace.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At Bma Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. Bma Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At Bma Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. Bma Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Pace Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network, found at paceradio.net, provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done through our 5 weekly live video and audio broadcasts that cover cannabis and psychedelic news, plus those we interview. We get started Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Reefer Reporters. Then at 9 p.m. we're live with Canada Quebec. Tuesday brings you Open Your Eye or the Psychedelic Reporters at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 8, we are live with the Pace Radio Show, but we're not done yet, because on Thursday, the Reefer Reporters return with another Reefer Report. Meanwhile, once a month, Thursdays bring you the Grassroots Advocate, the Pace Radio Network's audio magazine. All these shows, plus more, are found right here on paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network, here at paceradio.net.